cannot friggin' believe that literally a month after I made my 10k subs video thing, I'm making the 20k subs thing. Just stop! Stop! So around 2 weeks ago now, I put up a thing on my Discord server and on my community tab asking for questions for this 20k subscribers little Q&A thing. And I think it's safe to say that I got some pretty interesting questions. So without further ado, let's get into it. But first, of course, thanks to all the new people who have subscribed. Thank you all for being here, especially. I cannot believe that I've gained the same amount of subscribers, if not more, in just 1 month of January than I did for the entire year of 2021. That is insane. So thank you all very much. Seriously. Okay, now the questions. So first question, chocolatechief asks, who is your favorite Spider-Man actor? And I think I've made this very clear in a lot of my videos, but Andrew is my favorite Spider-Man, just because, probably just because I grew up with him, honestly, but I just like his performance a whole lot. I do love the others as well, like Toby and Tom, I love them. It's just, there's something special about Andrew for some reason. A lot of my friends too, their favorite actor is Andrew, so I think it must be some sort of nostalgia thing, just like how a lot of people are really obsessed with Toby because they grew up with him. Dobbs asks, who is Peter Parker? I don't know. I don't know, I've never heard of him. Why are you asking me for? I don't friggin' know. DeMarcus Cousins III asks, how old are you? Right now I'm 16, but I'm turning 17 in April, I think. No, nothing's gonna hit me? Okay, we're good. Spiderboy69 asks, face reveal when? I don't know, at some point maybe. I'm thinking about it, because I think it would be good for the content, but, you know, I don't know, we'll see. B38 asks, is pineapple on pizza valid? No, is pineapple pizza valid? Well, the very concept of pizza made of pineapple is quite scary, I must say. But as for pineapple on pizza itself, you know what, I'm mixed on it. I don't think, I've never really had a lot of pizzas, honestly, with pineapple on them, so I'm kind of mixed on that. I don't really have an opinion, really. Alright, Buttery Schloofy, who's also a winner of my Spider-Man giveaway, so congratulations to them. They asked, what is your favorite thing about doing YouTube, and what advice would you give to people who want to start making videos? My favorite thing probably, I don't know, my favorite thing is probably just seeing projects that I think up in my mind come to life. Like, I always really think about the stuff I make, and I think about it a lot, and sort of bringing that into the real world and making it a tangible thing you can actually see with your own eyes. That's probably the thing that I enjoy the most about it, at least. I also enjoy just hearing what you guys think about all of it, because, you know, obviously I've got my own opinions on my work and plenty of things I could say about all the stuff I do, but of course I love hearing what you guys have to say about it as well. That's probably one of my favorite things about, you know, the Spider-Man giveaway I did, because I got to ask that question of what was your favorite part of the videos. And of course I have my favorite parts of the videos, like I really like the final swing of part 2 and just the entire opening of part 1. Like I was on some shit when I made part 1, like that shit's flawless. But it was really cool to hear your opinions on that as well. And what advice I give to people who want to start making videos? I just say just start. Just, if you have an idea, it's like Stan Lee said, if you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. You know, if you want to start making videos, just start making them. Like, I started making my videos just with a laptop and my Quest. I probably didn't even need... probably didn't even need the laptop. I could have just used my phone. You know, because you can obviously just take footage straight from the Quest and, you know, maybe put it on your phone, chuck it into some random video editor, and then just, boom, upload it to YouTube. So, if you have an idea or something you want to bring to the table that you genuinely think is good, just go for it. That's my genuine advice. IMACU asks, if you could take parts of every MCU Spider-Man, including Toby and Andrew, so not every, must have been a typo, and put them all into one character, what would you make? I actually like this question. I think I would take, from Toby, I would take just his entire portrayal of Peter Parker. Just like that sort of quiet guy who's really nice, and for some reason the world just wants to throw shit at him. I honestly really did like Toby's portrayal of Peter. I think that'd be great. I think that's just the strength from, you know, those movies. So I think bringing that over into another character would be really great. As for Andrew, I'd probably bring his sense of humor as Spider-Man. Like, Andrew's sense of humor as Spider-Man is like top notch. And that's part of the reason why I like him so much. As well as just like his attitude, like the way he swings, he really incorporates that sort of Spider-Man-ness into the way he swings. So I think that would be something I'd incorporate as well. And as for Tom, I think one thing that people really sort of fail to realize about Tom and his portrayal of Spider-Man is that his Peter Parker actually has a lot of like quiet confidence, and I find that really interesting. So I think, yeah, that'd be something I'd take from Tom's portrayal. So you've got, you know, the kind-heartedness of Toby's Peter, the humor and sort of wit of Andrew's Peter, and then the quiet confidence of Tom's Peter. I think all of those rolled into one would make just like a really great Spider-Man. Orang Lord asks, who is my favorite Spider-Man villain? It's a good question, honestly. I haven't thought about it. I quite like Chameleon and Kraven. I really want to see Chameleon and Kraven in a Spider-Man movie one day. Oh my god, the voice cracks, they never stop. But yeah, Chameleon and Kraven and Black Cat too. It baffles me. Like today, I'm pretty sure just today we got the news that, I don't know, some actress I've never really heard of is playing Madam Web in that friggin' Sony movie that no one asked for. It baffles me that we're closer to a f***ing live-action Madam Web movie than we are to a live-action Black Cat. It's baffling to me. I can't be the only one who thinks that, right? Like, I don't understand how we've been making Spider-Man movies for 20 years, and yet we still don't have a live-action Black Cat. And if you're curious, my personal fan cast for Black Cat is probably... God, what is her f***ing name? Why do I always forget her name? She played Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass movies. What is her name again? I need to Google this, otherwise I'm going to get upset. Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz. She's my personal fan cast, I guess, for Black Cat. I think she'd do a really good job. Dyson asked the golden question. Will there be a third SpiderMan VR hunt video? And I'm happy to say that, yes, there will be at some point. But because I've posted so much Spider-Man stuff and just worked on a lot of Spider-Man stuff in the past couple months, I'm going to take a good break. I'm thinking that I probably want to have it out around the time, like, the first video turns 1. I think that'd be kind of good bookend. There will be a third one, but it will be the final one, I think. I'm generally of the opinion that a lot of the time, I think things are best when they do end at some point. You know, like, if your favorite TV show, for example, if that went on just forever, it would eventually become stale. It would eventually become boring. And I don't want that to happen to my videos, so I don't want to just milk the friggin' cow dry. So, yeah, I will do a third Spider-Man hunt video, and it will be probably the best video I make. I'm not going to cut any corners because, honestly, I did cut some corners with Spider-Man Hunt Part 2, and it didn't really become the thing I wanted it to become. It was still good in its own right, but there was just so many more things I could have done there. So when I do a Part 3, I'm not going to make any compromises. I'm not going to cut any corners. It's just going to be purely my vision, and yeah, probably the best video I've ever made. If it's not the best video I've ever made, it's not coming out. That's just the way it's going to go. I'm glad there's interest around it though, because the Spider-Man Hunt series is probably my first really successful series on the channel, so thanks for that. Okay, Drew Does Stuff asks, now that the other two Spideys are back after No Way Home, how would you continue their story? So, it's a good question. I think I'd like to see Toby just settle down with MJ, I think would be a great thing. You know, just settle down with MJ and just have a happy life. I mean, he obviously alluded to that in No Way Home. But I think just, yeah, he had his trilogy. I think he just needs to, yeah, just move on and have a happy life and maybe mentor like a version of Miles in his universe or something. I think that'd be interesting. Andrew, I reckon, would be a prime candidate for a Chameleon story. I mean, that's just probably my personal bias because I really like Chameleon. But if you've seen those like deleted scenes from TASM 2 where Peter's dad supposedly comes back, I reckon they could have done something with the Chameleon there. Like, the Chameleon comes back supposedly as Peter's dad, and he slowly discovers that his dad is a f***ing super villain. I think that'd be super interesting and just cool to watch, especially considering how in those movies, you know, Andrew's Peter's relationship with his parents is really a central focus of a lot of the movies. So yeah, I think going into that would be super interesting. And for Tom, I've done a lot of thinking about what I want Tom to do now. You know, after No Way Home especially. What I want him to do is I want him to team up with Daredevil and Black Cat and go up against Kingpin. Like Daredevil, Black Cat, and Spider-Man versus Kingpin and, you know, the whole crime scene in New York. That would be a sick-ass movie, especially with, like, the symbiote. Because we've seen now that Tom has that anger in him, right? Like, he has the capacity to beat the out of the Goblin, because we saw that in the movie. So I think, you know, especially considering some of the horrific shit that, you know, is portrayed in especially Daredevil, you know, in terms of the crime side of things, I think it would be super interesting if we could get like a symbiote story where Spider-Man has like these two different influences, a literal devil on his shoulder and then the Black Cat, and that they're sort of pulling at him to just, you know, to get more ruthless, become more ruthless and more violent, because that's what their, you know, portrayals of the characters are. And I think it'd be an interesting avenue for the symbiote story, especially a symbiote story without Venom. I think what Spider-Man needs right now, we don't need another Venom story. We've already seen Venom in his solo movies and just in Spider-Man 3. I think what we need is just time for the symbiote to shine. Something that did that really well was Spectacular Spider-Man, right? They had that symbiote story where, yeah, Venom was a part of it, but not until after Peter was already done with the symbiote. I think if they did that, that'd be great. But yeah, just any movie where Tom Spider-Man teams up with Daredevil, which is obviously on the cards because they put Charlie Cox in No Way Home.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
El Doggo asks again, who is your second favorite character? I'd probably say Daredevil, honestly. My top three, like, superheroes are probably Spider-Man at number 1, then Daredevil number 2, and then Black Panther number 3. Black Panther especially, he was always really cool, because I saw him for the first time in the animated, the animated Avengers series, is where I first discovered Black Panther. And that was before his solo movie came out. So when they announced that they were doing a live-action Black Panther movie, I was hyped as f***. I probably would have put, like, Black Panther at number 2, but I watched Daredevil, like, a couple weeks ago. I finished watching it, like, all 3 seasons, and it's just f***ing amazing. Like, holy shit. If you have not watched that shit, you click off this video right now and you watch it. I swear to f***ing God. Chicken Turtle 8 asks, why did you start doing YouTube? Well, funny story. If you go back to the start of my channel, like, well, my oldest video pretty much, it's a showcase of all the guns in Pavlov's shack. And basically, why I did that was I just made that video randomly. I don't even know what it was that came over me, like the compulsion to make it, but I just made that video because I wanted to. And I thought, hey, I might as well make a new channel and just upload this just in case people want to see it. Oh, yeah, because it was because the video itself was in 60 FPS, and from what I could gather, there was no other video on YouTube that was like a 60 FPS gun showcase for Pavlov's shack. So I thought, people might want to watch this, so I chucked it on a new channel because there were people subscribed to my personal channel that I didn't want seeing the video, so I just put it up on a new channel, and then, yeah, the rest was history. And then the whole story behind the VR Guns video, which was my first mini-doc, was I was playing through a bunch of shooters with Jack, one of my friends who I make videos with all the time, and I kept trying to describe to him why I didn't like the guns in Pavlov, and he didn't really understand what I was trying to say, because I kept telling him that they were floaty, right? And he never really understood that, so I thought, bugger it, I'll make a video explaining why I don't like these guns, or don't like these guns in particular. And yeah, and he pretty much understood what I was talking about after he watched that, so I guess I achieved my goal there. Drew Does Stuff asks again. Drew Does Stuff is active as f*** my Discord. If you're watching this shit, you're cool as f***. Drew Does Stuff asks, is there any generation of console/games that you're nostalgic for? I think the best answer for that is probably just the Xbox 360 era, because that was the first era that I sort of grew up in. I did have a DS before that, but that was like when I was super young, so a lot of the memories from that are kind of blurry, really. Like, I played a lot of Lego Batman on my DS, like as I said in the DVD Extras video, if you've seen that. But the generation I'm really nostalgic for is certainly the 360 era, because I played the out of 360 games, like Minecraft, Terraria, friggin' Halo, all those games I played for the first time on there. And just the user interface of the 360 is just super nostalgic to me now. I love it. It's like my personal aesthetic. I hate that word so much, but if I were to have an aesthetic, it would be the Xbox 360 user interface. I just love that shit. Larson Velbden asks, what kind of videos do you have planned for the future? Well, I do have plans, that's one thing for sure, but what we're going to have to see and find out is if I'm going to have time to bring those plans to fruition. Because if you don't know, obviously I said before that I'm 16 turning 17, so I'm in my last 2 years of high school now. And I just hope that I have the time to make videos. I mean, this will be my first video in like 2 weeks. So, I don't know. But I just do hope that I have time to bring the ideas I want to life. I can sort of tease one series that I do want to make. I won't talk too much about my other stuff because I want to keep it as a surprise, but one series I want to make at some point is a live action series called something like Does It Translate? Where basically what I do is I go around places and I try to see if skills that I've learned in VR have like adult translated to real life in any sort of way. Stuff like does cooking in VR make you a good cook in real life, and does shooting in VR make you a good shooter in real life? I think that'd be super interesting to do. But what I'm going to need for that is lots of time, money, and a better camera, because this ain't going to cut it. Cheese, quite a simple name, I like it. Cheese asks, top 5 Spider-Man suits. Any Spider-Man, e.g. Miles, Peter, Ben, blah, blah, blah. So, I quite like Spider-Gwen's outfit. I think it looks really cool. It's sort of different. It doesn't have those traditional sort of trademarks of a Spider-Man outfit besides the eyes, really. And I find that sort of interesting. It's a new sort of take on the costume. I really like the hoodie part as well. Well, that's one of them. I've said this before in the Discord server, but my favorite costume is probably the big time suit. You know, the black and green one, just because I like black and green. I used to play the Amazing Spider-Man game on the 360, and that was one of the unlockable suits, and that's how I discovered it. So it's probably been my favorite costume ever since. Number 3, probably the TASM 2 suit. Number 2, let's think. I like the Future Foundation suit. The Future Foundation suit looks cool. And number 1, I already said my number 1, which is big time, so this is just another random one, I guess. Number 1, probably the Raimi suit. Yeah, the Raimi suit. I do like the Raimi suit. Bjorn asks, what is your favorite genre of games to play? Well, considering the time I put into Zenith already, considering it's been like, what, maybe 8 days? Not even 8 days since it's been out, and I played probably about 20 hours of it, I'd say MMORPGs and just RPGs in general. Basically just games I can get lost into and put a ton of time into. Speaking of which, I recently bought Red Dead 2, and I'm probably going to play that at some point, so yeah, maybe look out for some videos for that, maybe, possibly. I don't know if I can get it to run at a stable frame rate, that'd be good. Yeah, besides RPGs and stuff like that, I enjoy sort of casual games, really, like cooking games and sort of games like Animal Crossing. I don't really play a lot of Animal Crossing, but things like that as well. Games like Terraria, I enjoy a lot. Terraria is sort of like a sandbox sort of, kind of like a light RPG with sandbox elements. I don't know, it's like a big clusterfuck of a lot of games. What I do know, though, is that it's good. Minecraft, I haven't played in a while, but I obviously enjoy that a lot, because I think everyone on the planet enjoys Minecraft. And that's probably it. But I will say, for some reason, when I read this question, the first thing that popped into my mind was Peggle. I have no idea why. I haven't played Peggle since like 2013. But apparently it popped into my mind, and I really enjoy Peggle for some reason. So yeah, what's my favorite genre? Peggle. Rov asks, what made you get into Spider-Man? I've actually been thinking about this a little bit since I read the question for the first time, and I honestly can't say. I can't pinpoint a certain moment in time where I just thought, oh yeah, Spider-Man, I like it. I honestly can't. It's really weird. It's like Spider-Man's always just been there for me. You know, he's always been there to pat me on the shoulder. He's always been there. It's like, as far as I can remember back, it's just like, yeah, I like Spider-Man. So I have no friggin' idea where I first discovered him, or, you know, got into the comics or the shows or whatever like that. My earliest memory of Spider-Man, though, was probably watching the 90s show. So if that's any indication, maybe I just saw the DVD in Kmart and thought it was cool. El Doggo asks again, honest thoughts on Spectacular Spider-Man. Goated. Leafa04, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He asks, or they ask, will you ever do a type of video where you spend like a week in VR and this is what I learned type video, or something similar to that? I was thinking about, I do want to do at some point a sleeping in VR video, because I've been interested in that for a little while now, just the concept of sleeping and waking up in what appears to be an alternate reality. So if I can convince my friends to do it with me, like a little VR sleepover sort of thing, then I'd probably make a video about that. As for spending a week in VR, I do not think my body can handle that whatsoever, but I don't know, maybe at some point. DeMarcus Cousins III asks again, when was your last poop and where is it currently located? I don't know. When were you born? Where do you live?
Stings, doesn't it?
Yeetar asks, what goals do you hope to achieve with your YouTube channel? I think 100,000 subscribers would be pretty cool. Just to have a plaque, like I could put it right here on my wall just next to my monitors. I think that'd be pretty cool to look at, yeah. 100,000 subscribers would be insane. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to hit it, because I hit 20,000 in a month after hitting 10,000 at the end of last year. So it's probably going to happen, maybe even before the end of this year. But yeah, 100k, that'd be pretty sick. Pete56 asks, what are your opinions on No Way Home? Make sure to put a spoiler warning, by the way. One of my opinions on No Way Home? Yes. Lots and lots of yes. Except for how they did my boy the Lizard dirty. Like, come on. Put him in the movie a bit more. Let him shine. And give him the lab coat, for God's sake. Give him the lab coat! Chubbycornflake asks, who is your favorite Spider-Man? Peter Parker, Ben Reilly, etc. I like Miguel O'Hara. Spider-Man 2099. He's pretty cool. Spider-Gwen as well. Just, yeah. Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man 2099, and Miles. They're like pretty much the 3 favorites. I honestly haven't really sort of learned a whole lot about Ben Reilly and, you know, the other people in the Clone Saga, so I don't really have opinions on them at the moment. But yeah, those 3, the golden trio. Bandoid asks, how does it feel to blow up in a matter of days? Quite surreal, yeah. Like I said in my 10K video, I still haven't really, like, it really hasn't sort of struck home yet that 20,000 people are subscribed to me. And it's in a matter of days especially, yeah. Definitely within a matter of months, weeks, maybe. It's insane. It's ridiculous. And like I said before, I cannot thank you all enough. You know, it's one thing to be able to make these videos and have at least one person watch them, but to make them and then have potentially thousands of people watch them, it's really something. A lot more artists deserve the recognition that I have, and I really hope that they can get it, especially considering how quickly I've gotten mine. Some random guy asks, what inspired you to start YouTube? Money. Dingo Splat asks, what is your favorite fast food and what do you order at insert fast food company here? Well, I don't really eat a lot of fast food really, but if I had to choose, I'd probably say like grilled or Nando's. I'm not really a big fan of, you know, Hungry Jack's or as you Yanks call it, Burger King. I'm not a big fan of that really, or McDonald's. I hate McDonald's. Yeah, it's not a fast food fan really, but if I had to choose, it'd probably be Nando's or grilled. Cyber asks, what equipment do you use while making videos? Well, this is a Stadium Memphis USB microphone. This cost me like 60, 80 Australian bucks. This webcam is a Logitech C922 Pro, I think. It came with a little tripod, so I think, yeah, it's the Pro. My PC, it's got a GTX 1660 Super, 16 gigs of RAM, i5 10400F, 2.9 gigahertz, yeah, that's right. And for VR, I just use my trusty Quest 1 that I've had for 2 years now. I do have a Quest 2, but I've come to realize that the head strap on it is a health hazard, so I'm not going to be touching that until my new Kiwi strap arrives. And yeah, I'll probably make a little video about that, or some other thing I'm going to tell you about in just a second here, if you stay towards the end of the video. And yeah, should be interesting. But yeah, for the rest of the stuff, I don't know, just mouse, keyboard, mouse, pad, IKEA desk. That's very rickety. Massive Weasel asks, favorite non-VR game? Portal. Literally, watch any other of my videos, it's Portal, my guy. SpiderMan asks, when did you start YouTube and what was your goal for it? Did you ever think that this was going to happen? Well, started YouTube like October, technically. Well, I see the VR guns video as more of my start. I don't really count the Pavlov guns video because it's not the kind of content I would put out now, so I don't really count that as my first video. But if you really want to be specific about it, then I started on October 26, 2020. And if you want to be not so specific about it, but more true to what I think, then I started on December 5th, I think, 2020. And I didn't really have a goal for it, really. I was just kind of putting up content because I thought it would be fun. And no, I did not ever think this was going to happen. I genuinely thought that I would make it out of 2021 with maybe 700 subscribers. And well, I came out of it with 10,000. So never in my mind would I believe that shit was ever going to happen. Drew Does Stuff asks again, where did the name Durain come from? Is it just made up? So there's a little story that goes with my name. So basically, I think it was like a couple years ago, really. Xbox put out a thing where you could change your gamer tag because they changed the system where it allowed to have special characters, like, you know, characters with like the little dashes above them. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a friggin' lexicologist, but yeah, they put out a thing that changed how the gamer tag system worked, and since they did that, they gave you a one free gamer tag change. So basically, me and all my friends, we thought, hey, wouldn't it be a cool idea if we all changed our gamer tags to a word translated from a language that we have heritage in? So I have Scottish heritage, so I've got Scottish blood in me, if you want to say that. So I translated a word from Scottish Gaelic, and the word, it's very cringe. It's absurdly cringe. It's very edgy because I made it when I was like 14, 15. So I'm not going to tell you what the word is, but if you're really curious, then you can just look it up on Google. Just do Durain, but do an O with a little dash above it. Something like that. I'll put it on screen so you know what it looks like. But yeah, translate that word and you'll see what the word is. Ash's Prez asks, give me that favorite color. My favorite color is green. That wasn't green, but I thought it was green. But yeah, my favorite color is green. I like a lot of green. Green, green, green. Love me some green. All right, well, that's it for the Discord server. Let's go into the community tab now. Diamond Depth YT asks, which do you want more? Another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie or another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie? You know, even though I do like Andrew and he's my favorite Spider-Man actor, I think another Tom movie, because the direction that they were going with Andrew's Spider-Man, it was terrible. It was really bad if you know about, you know, the direction they were going to take him. And Andrew does not deserve that. He deserves way better than that. And I feel like if they stuck to that sort of established story instead of just rebooting his character completely, which is what they should do, if they were to make another movie, then yeah, it would just suck. But they've already set up a lot of stuff for Tom Spider-Man, and I really want to see that pay off. I want to see him team up with Daredevil. 1:28 a.m. asks, do you have any other hobbies besides VR? Not really. You know, a lot of YouTubers say, oh yeah, I'm into like this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. I'm into knitting or some shit. No, I just like, if I'm not making a video about VR, I'm playing VR for fun, or I'm sitting here browsing Reddit on my phone or some shit, or watching YouTube. I honestly have a super depressing life. Don't be like me. Just don't. Okay, it's a bad idea. But I do occasionally read. I'm a reader of manga. I watch anime sometimes, so I read that. I'm into literature, so I've got some George Orwell stuff sitting up there. Besides that, yeah, just the basic sort of nerdy shit, you know, watching movies and stuff like that. Gummy Bear 806 asks, favorite music genre and artist. I love the content, my good sir. Keep up the good work. Thank you. My favorite music genre has definitely changed over the years. I don't think I have a favorite song, but my favorite genre, I think, would probably be alternative rock. Basically, whatever genre Lovejoy is, whatever you call that. I love Lovejoy. I used to be like really big into rap music, but I got sick of it because you know why? Every single rapper falls into 3 tiers. They either think they're above the rap game, or that everyone in the rap game is a sheep and they love money and mumble rap. Like, it's just cringe, okay? Then you got the rappers who just are in the rap game and don't even care, so they mumble rap and rap about money and sex and drugs and just all that cringeworthy bullshit. And then 3, you got the people who think they're like gods or some shit. Like, there's probably genuinely rappers out there who believe that they're like more than human, and to that I say, shut the up and go have a shower. My boy Charlie asks, what are your plans for the future, not just on YouTube, but in general? Just be happy, I guess. Keep being happy, because I was very miserable for a long time, and I don't want to be like that anymore. So yeah, just be happy, be healthy, I don't know, get your homework in on time, make a YouTube video at least once a month. Brandon Bernales asks, what do you think is the answer to life? I don't know, I quite like cheese though. Ozco asks, your rankings of the Spider-Man movies. Well, you know what? I'm an Andrew fan, but I can fully admit, TASM 2 sucks. It is a terrible movie, okay? And if you try to say that it's a good movie, you're allowed to enjoy it. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, but if you try to convince yourself it's a good movie, then just stop, okay? It's not. It's a terrible movie. So yeah, that all the way at the bottom. Then Far From Home above that. I don't want to elaborate on my opinions on Far From Home because I'll just get lambasted in the comments, but I don't like Far From Home, okay? My personal opinion, you're allowed to like Far From Home. I just personally don't like it. Yeah, besides TASM 2 and Far From Home, then there's not really any Spider-Man movies I dislike, but they could probably all be interchangeable on the sort of ladder of my favorite movies, but I'd probably say either Into the Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 2 is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie. Ricey asks, are you Aussie, and if so, what AFL team do you go for? I am Australian, and I love it, it's pretty cool, but I don't really follow football, and that's going to be a shock to a lot of my Australian viewers, but yeah, I'm just not a big fan of football, personally, it's not my thing. But if I did have to go for a team, my parents and I guess me by proxy have gone for my entire life Richmond. So yeah, that's a thing. Jorm Double R asks, God, that's a tongue twister. What led you to create the Spider-Man VR videos with a little donut? Well, nothing really sort of compelled me to make them besides the fact that I wanted to talk about different Spider-Man VR games because there wasn't really anyone else on the platform at the time who had really taken the time to, you know, sort of, what's the word for it? Sort of explore that because, holy shit, it's gotten dark outside. There's a lot of different games you can find and, you know, a lot of people were sort of, what's the word for it? Just tunnel visioned. Yeah, tunnel visioned on Spider-Man Far From Home VR. That game was like, if you searched up Spider-Man VR on YouTube, that was the only one that came up. And I wanted to show people that it wasn't just this one game that gives you a Spider-Man experience. So I thought, well, hey, I can take all these so many different games I've found and compare them all and then find which one's the best. Swaggus Dinnerbone asks, what is your favorite video you've ever made? Quite like that Phasmophobia video I did. But if I had to make a choice, it'd probably be, honestly, yeah, probably the Spider-Man Hunt Part 1. Part 2 is great, but like I said, I had to cut a lot of corners with that, so it didn't become the video I really wanted it to become. Like I said, still a great video in my opinion, but yeah, just not exactly what I envisioned when I set out to create it. Trippy asks, if you had a chance to be in any film, what film would you be in and why? Well, the obvious answer here is in SpiderMan 1. Like, you know when that big f***ing inflatable globe thing is falling on that kid? Just like take him out of there and swap me with him, and then just delete Spider-Man from the universe, just let that big thing fall on me. That's what I do. Jude the Dude asks, Ryan Reynolds or Andrew Garfield, who's more attractive? Damn, really giving me the tough questions, huh? You know what? I rep for my boy Andrew. Andrew is a handsome ass man. Question Marks asks, are you single? Totally not, dude. Like, what do you think? Like, a man of my stature is going to be single? Like, and the final question, PS King asks, have you ever played those Spider-Man Roblox games? Not the Spider-Man Roblox games, but I do play Roblox like once in a blue moon because I have an unfathomable addiction to Phantom Forces for some reason. I don't know how the f*** it happened, but one day while I was browsing Xbox, I just saw that Roblox was on there, and I thought, screw it, I'll play it, and I played Phantom Forces. And yeah, the rest was history. Now I have like almost probably 100 hours in Phantom Forces. But yeah, that was the 20k Q&A. Thank you all for your questions. Now I've got a special little announcement for getting me to 20k. Remember back when I hit 100 subscribers and I said, oh, I'm going to start doing live streams. You can watch that clip now. So I will be starting to do live streams. Yeah, so that happened like 8 months ago, I think. Like something like that. And I did not start doing live streams, but now I might. So I actually did a Wi-Fi speed test, and apparently it says my internet's fast enough to do live streaming, and I'd love to live stream because, well, it just seems like fun, really. If all goes correctly, because I'm going to do a little test just privately to make sure everything works just fine. If all goes correctly, my first live stream should be on Saturday the 12th at like, I don't know, sometime in the afternoon or in the evening for me. So switch that to your time zone, I guess. But yeah, should be good fun. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is probably live stream myself putting together the new head strap for my Quest 2. And then after that, giving my sort of first impressions on the Quest 2 while playing some Zenith. I've been having fun with Zenith, obviously, and I haven't yet tried out my Quest 2, so I would like to do both of those at the same time, and then just sort of live stream so I can chat with you guys, and you guys can chat with me. We can have a big fun time together, and yeah, it'll be great. Maybe I'll stream once a week if I get really good at it, and I have the time, which I hopefully will. VCA is scary, man. It's f***ing scary. But anyway, that's about it. That's all the news, announcements, talking, and swear words I have for you today. So if you enjoyed this video, well, you're probably already subscribed if you're watching this. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you really like me, join the Discord. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thanks for 20k, by the way. It's pretty cool. Here's to the next 10,000 subscribers that I gain within 20 minutes of posting this.